Playing that one. I'm going to talk to Kenny about the Joe Meek days as well and what he's up to at the moment. Black 319 on the Magzilla Rock and Roll Show here on All FM 96.9. Now this is Magic Star, Kenny Hollywood, and this is the vocal version to Telstar. Fantastic sound effects, Kenny Hollywood. I wonder what's happened to Kenny Hollywood, Brian, today. I wonder what he's doing.
I might be driving somewhere.
He might be, yeah. Well, we'll give him a ring in a bit, shall we?
Yeah,
see what he's doing. We'll see what he's doing. We're gonna have a chat with hopefully Kenny Hollywood. Hopefully he's got time to talk to us because he was a bit busy driving. And you're not allowed to talk with your mobile.
£100 fine coming soon.
That's right, yeah, and for cyclists as well. Rhythm and blues for you there. Now on the phone we should have Mr. Kenny Hollywood on the phone. Are you there, Kenny?
Yes, mate. How you doing?
Fantastic. Yeah, an RGM recording star. Oh, yeah. We want to talk about 1962. It's over 50 years ago first. Is that okay?
Oh, don't. Makes me feel old.
Oh, no. We've got loads of rock and rollers, Kenny, that love the sound of the Joe Meek stuff and 50s stuff and everything. Well, I'd like to ask you anyway, how Magic Star came about to you, did it go about?
Well, as you know, in the 60s there's loads and loads of bands and they're all doing the circuits and the local clubs and I was one of these guys that like karaoke today, but I used to get up with different live bands and do a few songs.
Oh, yeah.
And one particular evening I got up and did a couple of numbers with a band called the Aristocats.
Aristocats,
right.
And
after I'd done them, their manager, Dave McCarthy, he asked if I'd be interested in a recording audition at RGM Sounds, and of course I'd never heard of RGM Sounds anyway. At the age of 14, being excited.
Oh yeah, it's opportunity.
A bit of an understatement. Anyway, right. I did the audition.
Yeah.
Which amounted to singing about, if I remember rightly, about 4 songs at RGM, and I couldn't believe that all it was a couple of converted bedrooms with wires and equipment, and he was in one room and recording thing was in the other room.
It was upstairs, a shop, wasn't it? That shop, the handbag shop.
That's right. It was above a leather shop called Shenton's.
Yeah.
Where they used to make bags and stuff,
Yeah.
But anyway. On that particular day, I didn't think I'd done enough to impress anybody. So Dave was taking me on home, and he said that Joe was quite interested. And he said that it'd be a good idea if perhaps I could join up with the Aristocats at the time, do a few numbers and get some experience and see where we went from there, which I did.
Right.
And then one day, right out of the blue, I was doing a local gig. I've got a few songs under my belt with the Aristocats, and Joe Meek turned up. I couldn't believe it. He actually turned up, and he saw me do the songs. And after I'd done the songs, he said, "Would you fancy, doing some proper recordings?" Which was, I obviously I went for. The thing was, I was in a local venue at the time called the Coffee Pot in Welwyn Garden City.
Right.
And of course, that particular evening it went down particularly well because I had all my friends there.
Right. Yeah. When you're a young lad.
I did a few recordings for him, and then things died down. I didn't hear from him much.
No.
Didn't go on, and really, my head went down a little bit. And then then the Tornadoes they hit the scene with Telstar.
That's right.
And I was put on hold, as they say, because everything was geared towards them and Hines and everything else.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he just came to me and met my mum and dad and said, "Look, I'd really like Kenny to do the vocals to Telstar."
Yeah.
He'd written it and said he'd like to, take me on board and do it.
Talking about Telstar, I just interrupt you a little bit there, Kenny. Was it recorded at Joe Meek's, or was it recorded somewhere else, one of Decca's?
Actually, I did some demo tapes of it with the Outlaws, Dave and the Outlaws.
The Outlaws were like resident band there, weren't they? That's
right.
Joe Meek's studio.
They did backing track, and I did some demo tapes at RGM, and then Joe took me down to Decca.
Yes, I thought.
The main Telstar was done at Decca.
Right, yeah, it's because the music director was Ivor Raymond, and he obviously
That's right. It was Ivor Raymond. I can remember.
Yeah.
Well, I was in awe when I went into Decca because it was much different to doing a recording in a bedroom.
I bet it's different. It was different, down there. Decca. So it's where Tommy Steele recorded all this. I think probably the same studios, wasn't it?
Right,
it's interesting.
I had the orchestra on one side and the choir on the other side, and Ivor Raymond in the middle in a box, and
brilliant.
Telling people what to do, and I was in another little box with headphones and.
Right. It was the Tornadoes that were actually used on the backing tape then.
No. On Magic Star, was actually the real record you mean, Mike?
No, I meant your record, Magic Star. Did they actually use it? Was it session? It was slightly different. It does sound slightly different from his Tornadoes. And there's the infamous Joe Meek's version, isn't there, as well? Did you ever get to hear that?
Well, funny enough, Mike, that was the demo tape that he played to me, and said, "This is what I've done." And I can remember actually really pinching myself to stop myself laughing.
Yeah.
Because have you ever heard that original one on YouTube?
Yeah, that's when I heard it, and I think Joe was tone deaf, wasn't he? I'm sure somebody said he's tone deaf. I mean,
absolutely. And he was so serious, and he used to throw tantrums and this, that, and the other.
I believe so, yeah.
Of course, I'm sort of 14, 15-year-old, and I was just absolutely in hysterics, and I was pinching myself saying, "You were having a laugh,"
Yeah. I know, I've got, later on, Kenny, I'll send you a copy of this anyway, but it's on mixcloud.com. I've actually got permission from Cherry Red Records of an interview with Roger Levin, who's just recently passed away, and Clem Comiti.
That's right.
And they talk about Joe's temper, and Roger being sort of a tape recorder thrown down the stairs behind him and everything, so it's quite funny. So looking back, it's probably funny, but at the time it's probably frightening to get a massive big reel-to-reel thrown at you,
Oh, crumbs, yeah. He, 1 minute he was a gentleman and a nice person, and it was just Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay.
You never ever knew.
All right, can we just move on to your B-side, which was written by Jeff Goddard, and he was in-house writer, wasn't he, Jeff? He was The Wonderful Story of Love. Obviously, was that recorded at RGM, Joe's studio?
No, that was again. Okay. I met Jeff Goddard up at RGM Sounds with Joe, and they said that I was going to do Magic Star, the vocal of Telstar,
right?
And Jeff asked if he had permission to ask me if I would like to do his song that he wrote, and we went through it a couple of times up at RGM, and I actually recorded that at Decca as well.
All right.
And even to this day, there's a lot of people that said that maybe they should have tried to launch me with that because it was sort of into Bobby V mode and
that's right. He was Jeff. Yeah. I've got an email there from a friend of mine, Debbie Clark, who is on Oldham Community Radio, and she actually would like to ask you a question on my behalf. So basically, I'll ask it on her behalf. Sorry. What was Jeff Goddard really like? Because in the film Telstar, he's portrayed as being really shy. Was he shy?
Yeah, well, as I say, I only met Jeff probably about 4 or 5, maybe half a dozen times at RGM, and he was at Decca as well. And he came across as a real nice guy. You know, he was sort of upbeat, jolly, and everything else. But having said that, he was also a little bit introvert about his music for some reason, and I don't know why. When he was with Joe, it was Joe that was pushing him all the time. You know, no, do it like this, no, do it. Even though Joe was sort of tone deaf, he knew what he wanted, you know. And in some respect, I found that he used to maybe bully Jeff a little bit, you know. But Jeff was fantastic, and he was so good on the piano as well.
That's right. His compositions,
he was really good.
Yeah, no, his competitions were good, and it's a shame really Jeff didn't have a massive hit. I mean, Skyman was probably his highest hit, or his most popular one anyway. Skyman. Is it Skyman?
Yeah.
Skyman or Skyman, which is quite good. But he wrote for everyone. I mean, you know, tribute to Buddy Holly for Mike Berry and loads of others, and obviously Johnny Remember Me. And I think he's not credited to Telstar because Joe took it, didn't he? I think Joe took the credit for that, Joe at Telstar, and I'm not sure. I think Jeff had a big hand in that, I think, in the composition. I'm not sure. But again, you know what Joe was like? He was he was a master of the sound systems. Right, okay. We're going to move on then to one final while you're still in the early Kenny years is the American cover versions of his song. Did you know that Bobby Rydell had a version of it out?
Yeah, there was was it Mary Singleton, I believe?
And there's that's right. There's at least 3.
I've heard these versions. I didn't hear much of them at the time.
No,
but they are completely different. I don't know whether Joe had some sort of thing to get this off the ground in the US because you know Telstar, as you know, was the first
British hit in
UK
America.
number 1 on the Billboard.
That's right.
But if he did, I can't understand how he would have let those go, because that wasn't what he was trying to portray. Because they're a bit more bouncy along songs, aren't they?
It's a new version. But you must agree, it's unusual for really the British record to sort of like be copied in America, because in them days, in the 50s and 60s, it was the opposite way around, wasn't it?
We
copied them. Yeah, we copied them. All right, moving on to today. Are you still performing?
Yeah.
The band? Okay.
In a word, yes.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, can you tell us about your band then, please?
Okay. I joined, I was singing between like 14 to 19, then I got married and had a couple of nice boys, etc. My wife
settled down,
Then she passed away when she was 39, so it was at that time that I went back into music.
Yeah.
I had a great friend of mine, Peter Dan, was in a band at the time. And I started going around with them, doing a few numbers, and then it progressed from there. Originally, we were the Creaking Bones. Then we became the Bones because we started doing a bit more solid stuff. And then we resurrected an old school band called Bumps in the Night, which was blues and stuff.
So what kind of music is it now you're playing?
We're a band called Three Way Split,
right?
And we do covers, but we do covers right from the 60s to the modern day stuff. So we'll do the Beatles and everybody else back then, right to Chili Peppers and
Well, it's widely your field, yeah. So whereabouts do you gigging round? Where can we see you gigging?
We gig sort of Hearts, Beds and Essex. All around the London area, really.
All right, South London, Essex way.
And we probably only go out a couple of times a month now, to what we used to. I mean, we used to go out every week, but you know, we've slowed down now. We're getting too old.
So your heart's still set in music, isn't it? Do you actually play an instrument, Kenny? You play an instrument?
I play keyboards with the band.
Right. Okay. And how many's in the band?
3.
3 of you in the band. Okay.
Yeah, right. 3-way split.
And, we're nearly coming into the end. We're running out of time, actually. It's a great talking to you. Do you have a website where people can see
about the band? If anybody's listening, for everybody that's listening, if you go to Three-Way Split. That's the number 3. Threewaysplit.co.uk. You'll see me and the other 2 guys in the band, and some live music that we play on there. You just hit the button and you'll hear us live as well.
All right.
There's plenty there.
Right. Oh, it's been great talking to you, Kenny. All right, you're a real gem. All right. Thanks very much for talking to us. We're going to have to go. All right.
Okay,
so,
mate. Yeah,
all right. Nice to speak to you. All right.
Yeah.
Kenny Owen. Thank you
My
very
pleasure.
much. Okie dokie. Thank you very much, Kenny.